Ayo, after chapter 112, we can safely say that, maybe not safely, but we can finally say that we beat Kaiju number 9, dog. That's crazy to think about. Number 9 got introduced in this story way back in chapter 6. So we have literally been waiting for 106 chapters to see the resolution of our first main antagonist in the story. And the build up to this climax was more than worth it. Seeing Mina blast away that first shield layer, seeing Kafka charge in for that punch, and then more than anything, the GOAT, General Isao Shinomiya pulling in clutch and getting that shield taken off of Kaiju number 9's core so that Kafka could land the kill shot. Everything about this chapter was so hype and felt like a Kaiju number 8 action chapter to its core, where you can't stop flipping the panels. It took me like a minute to read this chapter. And even though things seem so good right now, we still gotta ask ourselves some questions. What is Kafka gonna be like once all this is resolved? Is he gonna be able to revert back to human? And even more so, is he going to be able to stop this Berserk form now that he's probably gone over his time limit? And we'll talk about that in this video. So let's get into it. So chapter 112 starts off with Mina using her signature weapon to take a shot at Kaiju number 9, and it completely decimates Kaiju number 9's first layer of shields. And as he's getting shot, 9 realizes exactly what Mina and Kafka's plan is. It's to shoot away his shields, that way Kafka can quickly charge in after and take that final shot at number 9's core. As number 9 is realizing this, he puts up his second layer of shields before Kafka can actually attack his core, and it's at that exact moment that Kafka realized that number 9 and number 2 have the ability to use this shield, but Kafka tells himself it's too late. He's already had this opening created for him by Mina, and he has to put everything he has into this last hit on number 9's core. He charges in and does a battle cry, but then we see the GOAT of this series and what I am going to deem right now as the strongest soldier in Defense Force history, dog. I don't care what suit output percentages are. General Isao's resolve and his will and everything that he has done to help us, there is not a greater soldier in Defense Force history than this man right here, bro. Seeing General Isao subconscious taking hold of number 9, and then number 9 turns around and says, wait, he still possesses that much strength and awareness right now? And then you see that resolve come across Isao. Blood starts pouring from his eyes, his nose, his mouth, but he won't give in. He crushes number 9 in that subconscious space, and that number 2 shield breaks in real life. And this scene was really cool to me, but also left me with some questions, dog. Because seeing Isao do this to number 9, obviously number 9 even acknowledged Isao. But to me, I was almost wondering, was this number 2? Or was this Isao? From the get-go, whenever we saw Kaiju number 9 fuse with number 2 and Isao back in chapter whatever it was, 53 maybe, 54, Kaiju number 9's body started breaking down immediately, right? In the middle of his battle with Kafka and Narumi, his body started falling apart, and he told us, he's like, my body's having adverse effects because I just got done having this fusion happen. And one thing that swept across my mind is throughout this series, multiple times, we've always had people tell us like, hey, Reno cells are compatible with Kaiju number 6. Hey, Narumi cells are compatible with Kaiju number 1. Hey, Isao cells are compatible with Kaiju number 2, right? And these 3 dudes are the only people that have ever been compatible with those respective Kaiju. Now, Kaiju number 9 did absorb number 2 and get stronger, but was he compatible with Kaiju number 2? You know, we know that humans that weren't compatible with Kaiju number 6 literally couldn't use that suit, so it just sat off in a cold room somewhere. But when number 9 absorbed number 2, he just absorbed it, right? And they may not have been compatible from the get-go. Number 9 quite literally could have created his own demise. And to build on top of that, I think that Isao being compatible with number 2 honestly creates this special sort of relationship with them. We know that whenever any sort of officers get into a numbered suit, they create a huge neural link in order to use these suits. And not only that, because of that link that these humans have with these kaiju, we've seen in the past that these kaiju hold core memories, right? Kaiju number 4 held core memories of Hikari and was showing those memories to Kikoru on how to most effectively use her in battle, right? And that was the only thing that literally saved Kikoru's life during her fight with 15. I can't help but wonder if the same way that number 2 has these core memories of Isao, I can't help but wonder if it holds those memories dear, if it doesn't care for Isao a little bit. The same way that 15 cared about number 9, right? 15 wanted number 9 to love it so bad, but 9 literally didn't even know what 15 was talking about. And I think that it could have very well been, what I'm trying to say is that this could have very well been maybe not even Isao. Maybe the will of Isao that lives on with number 2 through its core memories is what fought back against number 9. Maybe number 2 is just fighting back by himself based on his relationship with Isao. And that could be a crazy phenomenon in itself. The fact that they formed a relationship that strong that number 2 would fight back like that, right? A compatibility that strong. And I promise this is the last of me taking it a step further, but I can't help but feel like maybe Matsumoto is showing us something here, because even in last chapter, Kaiju number 9 described Kaiju number 8 as a kaiju that wants to kill other kaiju, right? And that's exactly what Kaiju number 2 seems like here in this phenomena. It's fighting back against another kaiju, its own kind. So what if that's exactly what number 8 is, bro? A kaiju that back in the day, its will and desires were influenced by a human that it was inside of, right? I don't know. I'm just saying, it seems like humans and kaiju influence each other a lot more than what we are being led to believe. And I can't prove that. This is just my headcanon after the last couple chapters. But after Isao and Kaiju number 2 get rid of that last shield surrounding number 9's core, Kafka charges in for his last attack, variant number 6, modified Thunder Emperor, and hits Kaiju number 9 with the kill shot to his chest that completely sends ripple effects throughout the rest of the city. And that's how the chapter ends. It ends off with us thinking that maybe number 9 has finally been defeated. Seeing Isao come back from the dead to be able to help us out to make this happen. Seeing Mina and Kafka being able to fight side by side. Everything about this war arc has just felt absolutely amazing, dog. From start to finish. Even though it's been constant fighting, we have had character growth through these fights. We've seen characters unlock new abilities. We've seen just how cool all of these numbered suits can really be. And we still got more numbered suits to get introduced to, right? We still got other characters that we got introduced to during this arc that I'm hyped to see, like Soichiro. So if this is the last fight of this arc, man, this war arc has been absolutely amazing. It might have seemed like a long time to read it from start to finish bi-weekly, especially if you've been around this channel for as long as this war's been happening. But dog, it has been nothing short of amazing, especially if you just like read it all quickly through instead of doing the slower bi-weekly pace that we've been doing. But even outside of that, even if number 9 is defeated, there's still multiple questions that we have to ask ourselves here, right? The first one is, Kafka already told us that he can only maintain this form for about a minute. And before last chapter, he said that he had already been in this form for about 40 seconds. So he had 20 seconds or less to maintain this berserk state. And at this point, I probably think it is safe to say that number 8 has been in this berserk mode for over a minute. So is Kafka even still Kafka right now, first off? Whenever all of this dust settles and the camera or the panels go back over to Kafka, is he going to be crazy? Is he going to run rampant on everybody that's around? We know that Kaiju number 8 wants to literally kill Kaiju. So if anybody is omitting or emitting some daikaiju aura, right? The fact that number 9 could feel the presence of number 6 all the way from where they're at. Do you think that Kafka can't detect where he's at too? Do you not remember back at the beginning of this war where Kafka was at the Shofu area with, dang, I can't think of her name. Ren Shinomiya? And he could detect where every single person was at based off the aura that they were emitting, bro. He knew where Hoshina was at. He knew where Kikoru was at. So it is going to be interesting to see what is going to happen to Kafka once we get to these next panels. On top of that, we also learned that Kafka might not be able to revert back to human ever again once this is over. He has been in this form for over 30 minutes. So is Kafka's body going to be permanently fully changed to kaiju? Is it just literally going to be like his head that can go back to this human form? That alone is another question in itself. So there are two questions surrounding Kafka right now that we got to ask ourselves. What's actually happening to our dog? Yeah, number 9's gone, but what's happening to our boy? Not even kaiju number 8. What is happening to Kafka hibino, right? Second, is number 9 actually dead? Right? I can't help but feel like number 9 is not dead. I am not saying that he's going to get back up and keep fighting, but I just can't help but think that this last shot is not going to be enough to actually fully kill number 9. And if that is the case, do we capture him and does he play some sort of role for us? Does that lead us into our next arc, right? Who knows? But that's a question in itself. Is number 9 actually dead? Next, what is the public opinion going to be on this? They are finally seeing all of this underneath in that bunker still, right? They have been watching all of this happen from underneath. They have seen Kafka absolutely losing himself fighting against kaiju number 9. They have seen 2 kaiju in civilian grounds completely destroying all the infrastructure on where they live at. Their homes, their grocery stores, markets, whatever it might be, things that are important to these civilians have all been destroyed by these 2 kaiju. So even if number 8 did protect these people, how are they not some way kind of afraid of him? Especially if Kafka is berserk whenever they still have these cameras on him after all this fighting is over. So that's another one, the public opinion. And a little side note with the public opinion, we better finally get the name of this little girl that loves Kafka so much, bro. I need her to walk up to Kafka after the war's over, and she can be the one to get him out of this berserk mode. She can say, hey, Mr. Kaiju Man, thank you for saving us. My name is blank. You feel me? Like, I need to know what her name is. And then the last ones, what is happening to our other numbered suit users? How is Kikoru holding up right now? Where is Narumi at? I thought that Narumi will be running over to help Kafka. Where is Hoshina at, right? So we're gonna get into a lot of stuff that still needs to happen before this is fully concluded. Yes, number 9 is gone, but there is so much happening elsewhere and other nuances that have popped up that it's really going to be interesting to see what's going to happen the next like 5 chapters, right? So yeah, dog. Other than that, I will be here for the next Kaiju number 8 chapter. You already know me. We'll see. I'm not going to make any promises yet about dropping any content in between because I got really busy this last month. I wasn't even in town the 2 of the weeks for this month whenever we had a break. So I really didn't have that much time to make a lot of content, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Other than that, if you watch this video, as always, arigato, and I will be back. Peace.